Greetings, viewers. Night and I here, welcome you to another end of year How Not To Commentate. Honestly, debated with myself whether or not I'd make an end of year list, primarily because the last year was so miserable. While 2020 would have been a cluster, I don't feel it was as bad as 2020. Doesn't change the fact we got some pretty bad commentaries though. So, here are the usual rules. This is me going over bad commentaries I found over the year. It doesn't matter if the person I'm covering is a commentator or not. If they use the cutaway commentary style, their video will be on this list. I'll be judging the videos on how they were edited, the points that were made, and the possible motivations behind said videos. It doesn't matter if the video is privated, unlisted, deleted, or disowned. If there are still criticisms to be had, they'll be on this list. With all that out of the way, let's examine these cases, shall we? Starting with the less egregious videos this year, the first of the worst comes from a commentator called Zesty Bomb, who did a commentary on Miss Anthem Replay's review of Space Jam 2. A point that Zesty keeps repeating is, what were you expecting? This is a kid's movie. Well, shit. Guess I wasted my time doing a review of Digimon the movie, and explaining what I thought its good and negative aspects were. Yeah, saying it's a kid's movie does nothing but dismiss any possible valid criticisms to be had against said kid's movie. A kid's movie is still a piece of media, and therefore subject to criticism if there are indeed valid criticisms to be made, which Map clearly thought when he made his video. When Map complains about the montage of LeBron James and bugs doing the different movies, things like product placement, Zesty says this.
The reason why that scene was in the movie, the montage, was because LeBron and Bugs were trying to look for the other Looney Tunes. You can't just assume that that Warner Brothers put it in the movie because they wanted to put product placement in the movie. That's not a good critique. That's like saying Pikmin 2 is a bad game because it has product placement in said game that you collect as treasure to bring back to your ship. Do you see how that argument doesn't work, Map? Because it doesn't, and you should know. I played Pikmin 2.
Which really doesn't debunk Map's complaints. Zesty later accuses Map of misleading his audience about the relationship between LeBron and his son, without explaining how Map misled his audience.
Why would LeBron James want his kids to be basketball players like him? Why wouldn't he want them to pursue different interests? Does he think of basketball as a family tradition that needs to be upheld? There's little to no chemistry between James and his son throughout the whole movie, to the point that there's no reason to feel invested in it. And by the time they get to the scene where James says he's sorry and his son forgives him and they share a big hug and everyone in the crowd cheers for them, you just don't care. It's supposed to be this really emotional moment, but there was no proper build up to it, and it feels like the movie is just trying way too hard.
I will agree with you that the build-up with LeBron and his son making up is a bit rushed and comes out of nowhere. However, in the opening scene, it was established why LeBron takes basketball very seriously and why he's wanting his sons to follow in his footsteps, even if they don't want to. Look, Map, I don't know if you were paying attention, but you can't just spread misinformation in front of your audience.
Yeah, even if that opening scene explains why LeBron wanted his son to go into basketball, you don't really explain what was in said scene to counter the complaint Map had against it. Map makes a joke about hating this timeline full of disappointing and repugnant movies, and it goes right over Zesty's head.
So, you hate this timeline because they decided to put a scene with Porky Pig getting into a rap battle. Good to know. Also, why are you bringing up Cuties, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and the Lion King remake? All three of those things aren't relevant anymore, so stop bringing them up in every single one of your videos and just move on already.
Matt claims the sequel teased the return of Michael Jordan, and rather than, I don't know, looking around for online evidence of said rumor, Zesty just asks for proof.
Show.
Do you have any proof that Warner Brothers straight up lied to people about not getting Michael Jordan into the Space Jam sequel? Really, I'm really questioning if you have any proof, because we don't know. We don't know what went on behind the scenes. Maybe, I don't know. Wait until a DVD release comes out. That way we can confirm this stuff for ourselves.
What is this? What am I subjecting myself to? As a commentator, it's your job to disprove any false information your target might be flinging out into the universe. Not give us some big fat nothing burger like you did here. Then we get to Zesty's final thoughts.
And now, and don't get me started on what you've been doing on Twitter lately. If anyone wants any information on what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link down below where you can check out a video on Map's recent behavior on Twitter, as the user in question goes into far more detail than I have time to go over.
Oh, yippee skippy! Referencing the Fuck Me Saints Were Running bandwagon that was started by the bunch of people on Twitter who thought saying mean things was the worst thing a person could possibly do. My favorite flavor of priorities. Seriously? Map's conduct on Twitter had nothing to do with his review. So why freaking bring it up here? No wonder the video's privated. Those final thoughts tainted the burger. If you're going to continue doing commentary, Zesty, do better than this. The nothing points, the non-arguments, and unrated shit that was happening on Twitter all added up to one of the worst commentaries I've seen this year. I normally don't pay attention to content from Blaze the Movie Fan. However, this year, he put out a commentary on the commentary group Federation of the Exalted, who did a commentary on PokeTuber Dobbs, who did a video about starter Pokemon, and, well, it wasn't very good. The very first issue with the video is the jump cuts.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Blaze the Movie Fan, and it's time yet again to go to the past to talk about how an old video holds up years later.
Now, Blaze is known for doing jump cuts in his videos, but I doubt they've ever been this bad. It's just really obvious that these were probably done in post-editing, and they come off as really jarring when inserted to the original video feed, especially in mid-sentence. Blaze accuses Fox of being lazy because their avatars come from Google Images.
Oh yeah, just one more thing I wanted to tell you. If I find out you evolve into another fucking firefighting Pokemon, I will literally come and find you and put you in the PC box number 30, next to Magikarp.
I forfeited my ability to express more than one emotion when I sacrificed my soul to the Zionist cabal of Poketubers. It's because of this that I have to rely on voice modulation and bad keyframing to feign a remote existence of personality in my voice. Yeah!
At least he is trying to make his own animation. What the hell are you guys doing? All you do is just use random images that you found through Google Images.
Even though he is equally guilty of this, but I guess it is different because Zimbo just hopping up and down, and that's a form of animation. In response to the argument about Flint's and Fernape, Blaze says this.
Flint is a fucking great trainer. There you go, that's all the explanation you need.
Except it isn't. This is just an undeniably lazy argument that doesn't bunk anything. But the most prominent issue with Blaze's video is that he takes every single joke Fox makes seriously.
You're using Embor as the one to threaten Litton's originality. That just doesn't work. Embor's the reason the joke exists at all. Second, Blaziken did it originally because Blaziken is the one with a reason to be angry about it. And third, and this is the biggest problem, Embor fucking sucks!
So, the biggest problem is a subjective one.
Coming at number 6, we have Mudkip for Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
So, I guess the real reason you don't put Blaziken on your list, even though the Oris version meets your criteria, is because you've got a giant water erection then. Good to know.
Well, you have an erection for Blaziken and Greninja. What's your point?
And for the strongest starter Pokemon, in my opinion, is Rez Charmander for Pokemon Origins.
God, is this guy a Gen 1er or something?
No, he's obviously not, since there are many entries of Pokemon not from the first generation. Also, if you use the term Gen 1er, you are begging not to be taken seriously.
Blaze, these are very obviously jokes. How are you not picking up on that? Also, is it just me, or did Blaze come off as needlessly bitchy to anyone else who watched his video? Maybe that wasn't the intention, but it's the impression that people could come away with when watching his commentary. Blaze, it's fine if you want to cover something old, but I would recommend that you watch an old video, movie, or show repeatedly to see if your points will actually hold up when you choose to make a video about a subject. That takes care of the lesser evils. Now on to the really shitty takes this year. Yeah, we're going back to Carmen Ray's response to Raven Pine's commentary on Carmen's video on why people should allow porn to be made of their OCs. Goody goody gumdrops. This is actually the video that made me decide to do an end of year list. So congratulations, Carmen. You get to be in the thumbnail. Okay. So, when Raven responds to Carmen calling a character from Friday Night Funkin' Lootable, Carmen claims the creator made Sky Lolly for controversy.
What the fuck, Carmen? Sky in the mod is fucking 12 years old!
Even though she's a fucking drawing? Also, even then, I'm pretty sure BB Panzu only made her a lolly for the sake of controversy.
Which, if you're gonna make that kind of claim, you might want to have some proof on you. Which Carmen doesn't. I mean, let's just overlook that the person who created Sky is a minor, that Sky is a self-insert character, and the actual creator of Friday Night Funkin' just incorrectly assumed that Sky was 12, like her creator at the time, before correcting her age on the wiki. Carmen also says she doesn't care if the creator of Friday Night Funkin' is cool with fan art of the characters, but doesn't want to be tagged if there's NSFW art of them.
Here's an idea. Draw fan art of the character without making it NSFW. Let's go back to Sienna's ref sheet for a bit. Seymour is okay with fan art of the character being made as long as it is SFW.
As much as I like his content, I don't give a damn what he thinks. And neither should you.
She also doesn't care that Jane Animations is uncomfortable with people drawing porn of her character.
I mean, it's already been established that Jaded is against any porn of persona being made.
Like I care.
Even though this wasn't the first video I'd seen from Carmen, it left a really bad impression on me about her. Yes, let's just say I don't care about your boundaries, so I can jack off the point of your character. I know people can't stop one of their characters being made, but they still have the right to be uncomfortable with it. Especially in the case of Wolfie 2 and Jaden, whose characters represent them. I'm sorry, are the actual people behind the little wolf girl and the brown-haired marshmallow woman not allowed to be uncomfortable with the fact that there are weirdos out there drawing porn of their characters that they use on their PG channels to represent themselves? Carmen also seems to think that because it doesn't bother her, that this shouldn't bother anyone. Okay, Carmen, I know that you wouldn't care if someone drew porn of your OC, but not everyone thinks their hormones like you apparently do. On the subject of shirtbusters, Carmen labels him a troll.
It honestly sounds like this guy's a troll and was doing this solely to get a reaction. Hence why Jane blocked him. She didn't want to feed the troll. Puppy Jane did give a reaction, and thus he did it more. She fed the troll. Ever hear the phrase, don't feed the troll? Well, that's what Puppy Chain did. She fed the troll.
Even if he is a troll, the fact that he made Pointer Puppy-chan, despite the people that confronted him before, who have no connection to her whatsoever, not only goes against what Carmen says about porn of someone's character being a form of appreciation, but also doesn't debunk that this made Puppy-chan uncomfortable. Oh, Carmen also thinks that this is an attempt to strawman all hentai artists as sexual deviants.
Also, even if he is an asshole, not all hentai artists are like him. You can't use a singular person as a straw man for all hentai artists.
Even though not once during Coyote Levy's original video, which Raven was using, was Shirtbusters called a hentai artist. Every single counter-argument Carmen makes is just an attempt to dismiss any criticism sent her way. This video was a chore to watch, a chore to commentate on, and a chore to go back to for this video. Originally considered doing this as a 2-for-1 spot with Carmen Rider, since the video she did in response to Raven and the video Rona did in response to Harley TBS come off as someone dismissing criticism. I'd have probably ignored Rona's video if it hadn't been for this bit.
But what made me even more curious about Harley and his channel was when I had people on my Discord tell me some very interesting claims about him. There was some very weird stuff, and I felt like an absolute boomer for having to have someone explain what a lolly is to me. But anyway, I'm not an expert on anime or really anything in that weird corner of the internet, so people have compiled a nice Google Drive with bunch of screenshots and evidence of what Harley's been up to, so I'm just gonna put a link to that Google Drive down in the video description below so you can kind of make up your own mind on what you think of it.
This no doubt is in reference to when Prison Mate Luke accused Harley TBS of being a pedo defender simply because Harley criticized Luke's videos on a username unlisted. Never mind that this has absolutely nothing to do with the video that Harley did on Rona. We're just gonna pour all that poison down the well before actually responding to Harley's commentary. Harley points out how Rona seems to prefer focusing on production values rather than actual issues with its content, and Rona says in response,
a lack of understanding for what to prioritize with content, and instead opting to improve the level of production quality in your video, choosing to buy more expensive equipment out of belief that it will mean you'll do better.
Yeah, no, I don't think that having better gear will magically make my videos perform better.
yeah, how will buying better gear not improve your content more than focusing on lighting and stuff you put in your description? Here's his response when Harley accuses him of making videos for influence.
A lack of interest in your content as shown in your DMs with Peaches, where you show you really only care about making content for the influence when you have no actual care for good content or your audience, and as such you aren't making good content.
Yeah, nice try trying to spin that one to say that I only care about the influence. No, I don't. That's just wrong. Next.
Because just saying, "Nuh-uh, you're wrong," without explaining how the accuser is wrong is a great counter-argument. Certainly gives this clip some weight.
You also show a resistance to holding yourself accountable, opting to die on any hill you come across instead of actually acknowledging criticism thrown against you.
Long story short, the video just comes off as a Rona complaining that Harley takes issue with his character and how he makes his content, and rather than consider that at least some of what Harley is saying might have merit, everyone just brushes off the criticisms or the points Harley makes seem to go over his head. Not that I expect everyone to listen to any of this, since apparently anyone who criticizes them, like Harley or just a robot, are simply trolls, unworthy of his attention.
For those not aware, I took a break because after making 3 videos in a week for a while, I got emotionally drained and emotionally tired, so I decided to take a break from doing videos for like 2 weeks. And now I'm going to go back to making videos, but it's just going to be 1 video a week on Fridays, aside from like surprise videos like this where I had to talk on a topic that's, relevant or recent.
Well, considering the video went after is 4 to 5 years old at this point, these opening statements sure worked against you. And not only did you not link the video you're going after in the description, I couldn't find it on Fanstrider's channel when I went to look. It's almost like he deleted the video because he doesn't stand behind it or something. Ladies and gentlemen of the digital court, welcome to Return of Offender Deviant Crow. I originally knew about this video through a script for a co-op on it, and was disappointed disappointed that the co-op never happened because I thought the script seemed pretty solid. So for context, 4 or 5 years ago, Phantom started talking about trans people and the issue of gender reassignment surgery in a commentary on one of his old countdowns. Then along came our feathered friend here, who I get the impression only watched the video once and decided to call Strider a transphobe.
Today I'm talking about Phantom Strider. You may know him as a top 10 channel that, makes top 10s about animation, and they're fairly bland, boring, and derivative. Really repetitive, and just not a channel I really like that much. Then why am I talking about a channel that's boring, repetitive, and not worth watching? Well, that's because Phantom Strider is a transphobic prick.
You know what? I'll admit that Strider probably shouldn't have used the word mutilate in his commentary.
The first thing some people talk about is that the idea that I'm not, like I'm anti-transgender or something. And it's a difficult subject because while I feel, if someone really doesn't like being in their own body and they simply cannot think of any other way, and if that's what they have to do, that's what they have to do. But I just hate the idea of any of people I know or love or any of my friends mutilating themselves.
But I didn't pick up the vibe that he was being intentionally malicious and was more not thinking before the words came to him. Crew really likes to hammer in one point, so make it look like she knows what she's talking about, and that's comparing transition surgery to heart surgery.
Here's a good question for everyone. Would you all consider heart surgery mutilating yourself? No, you wouldn't, because that's dumb. Heart surgery is done to overall help your health, just like how transitioning surgery is overall done to help someone's mental health.
Even though that's comparing apples to oranges. I mean, let's ignore the fact that it's irreversible, despite what Crow seems to think.
And there's another stupid argument about, once you transition, you can't untransition. Even though you can, sex reassignment surgery, despite what everyone says, is reversible. You'd think that would be obvious, considering that if you can have a sex change in the first, if either sex can have a sex change, then obviously they can use the other procedure for the other sex to transition back.
That's not how it works.
This isn't high cutting spice where transitioning is as easy as taking a potion once a month. You're talking about real life surgery, which requires a lot of consideration before the person actually goes through with it.
Then you're an asshole. Let's say he is genuinely worried about his friend. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Then you would want them to have the surgery. You would want them to get the surgery that would overall make their lives better.
Except Strider never said he's against it. This is just another case of Crow slapping a label onto someone, and I don't care for it, which is why this video is on my list. Oh, and I'm aware of this comment. Crow, you provided no important information and just came off as unbelievably ignorant. I heard after this video that Strider was harassed to the point that he had to go on hiatus. And if that's true, Crow contributed to someone being harassed off the internet for a while. Crow, you have 1K subs, and people are going to assume what you say is indisputable fact because of said sub count. If you're going to keep making videos calling people out for behavior you find problematic, probably take that into consideration and request that your audience don't go harass the people you cover. I know you can't stop your subscribers from harassing people, but at least put up a disclaimer. Also, try to do more than a minute of research on Google to make sure your arguments will actually hold up instead of just talking out of your ass. Just a thought. Honestly, Crow, I would recommend unlisting this video or privating it, because as it is, I can't see this as anything but an attempt to cancel someone, because you misunderstood what they said and chose to get upset. Just as Sylveon's entire side channel could be on this list, his content is just that bad. No, his video on me isn't on this list, even though it's pretty shit. Greetings, viewers. F is for F tier commentators. Fucking up my audio! video? Seriously, why is this the third time this has happened to me? No, the video that got on this list is the commentary he did on Doodletone's video Confessions. First issue, black borders everywhere. Second issue, whenever he cuts the Doodles video, it's just a screenshot of the thumbnail. Why did you do this? You clearly download the audio from the video, so why not the actual video track itself? Another issue with this commentary is that Sylveon will just let long stretches of the video play out and not really respond other than trying to convince us all that he's totes for real a troll, guys. That's certainly the conclusion his waifu for Laifu comment writer came to. This is truly a test of patience, considering that this is a 50+ minute long video. Jesus, if I wanted to hear Doodle talk uninterrupted, I'd just go watch her original video. Sylveon drags everything out for so long, I found myself skipping ahead several times just to see if he would actually say something.
I was growing rapidly, trying to learn what did and didn't work, and sure, there were hiccups, Harry Puss and Jar dramas anyone, but the second peg didn't actually drop until I had hit 8k subs. You guys remember Mr. Medicure, right? I sure as hell hope you do, because some of you won't ever let me live it down.
And I won't as well. And trying to silence it is only going to make people want to talk about it more.
Even though no one has tried to silence it, the point that everyone's been making is that it's old drama that only drama hounds cling to, and want to pretend that it's still relevant for the sake of maintaining Doodle's lolcow status. I mean, you tell me the last time Mr. Metker said anything about Doodle in the last 5 years. It's now 2021. Why should anyone really give a fuck anymore? Especially when a good chunk of the slideshow commentary community, Doodle included, have realized and agreed that Doodle's commentary on Jim's first episode of Deviants was a severely bad take. This is what I was talking about in my second video on Sylveon. He likes to cling to old dramas and pretend they're still relevant, when a lot of the people that were originally involved have realized what they did was dumb, have moved on, and really don't care anymore. And now we come to the motivation about why Sylveon made his video.
The little reputation that I had left should have been destroyed at that point in time.
And that's what I'm here to destroy.
Yeah, he's doing this video to ruin Doodle's reputation, even though she's only up to all the crap she did in the video he's commentating on. Wow, you really suck at calling people out. The video is made out of pure spite and desire to tear someone down rather than give them actual criticism, and for that, I deem it the worst commentary of 2021 I have seen. So I just found this out, but after Doodletones did her 8-hour expose on Sylveon, the little copycat randomly chose to nuke their original channel and rebrand the channel they use for commentaries. But you'll notice that they still have the videos where they use Doodle's assets up. So, Sylveon or Tomoko or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, I don't care. I'm going to give you an order and then some advice going forward, since this is apparently the channel you want to stay on now. Get rid of every video where you're using Doodle's characters. Privatize them, unlist them, delete them, I don't care which. Quit using another YouTuber's brand to build up your channel. If you want to use Tomoko as an avatar until you can get your own original character made, go for it. I don't care what you use as an avatar, as long as it isn't a character belonging to another YouTuber. Oh, and on the off chance this is one of your old accounts, and even if it isn't, delete those too. I genuinely don't care if you want to stay online or stay in the commentary community, so long as you learn to apply some actual critical thinking. By that I mean come up with your own arguments. Don't just pay whatever Just a Robot, Just Stop, or some randos in the comment sections have to say. Don't treat commentaries like there's some sort of argument to be won, and leave your biases at the door. You really let your biases get the better of you, and you attack the people you don't like, while defending the people you do like, making terrible arguments the entire time, or just don't make any proper arguments in general. Your vendetta against Doodletones and your white knighting of Carmen Rider are blatant examples of this. Lastly, don't look up to or defend pseudo-intellectuals like V Omega, who unironically befriended and defended Zoo Flyakira the Wolf, or need to not only laugh at minors being uncomfortable with NSFW artwork, but also defends making revenge porn against Kaya Weiss. Like, these are just people that you shouldn't be looking to in terms of morality. You seriously shouldn't let people like this influence your actions. So originally I didn't think I was going to have final thoughts. However, 2021 has given me quite a bit to think about. We in the slideshow commentary community, or just the commentary community in general, have a problem with drama and serial harassers. We really can't take away these problems by doing our regular videos where we use silly characters and picking apart every argument made by the opposition. I think last year and this year prove that approach really doesn't work for these kinds of issues. Sylveon and King Sherman 777 aren't the kinds of people we can debunk in videos and be done with them. I've had it pointed out to me by someone outside the commentary community that these are people that thrive off of making us uncomfortable, and they don't really care about what points we have to make to debunk them. I also feel that if we unironically want to call ourselves a community, we need to talk to each other and try to work out our issues if possible, rather than into big high school-esque conflicts that result in broken friendships and having resentful feelings towards each other. This is something I thought all the way back in 2017, especially after the room I was in charge of fell apart. What happened in 2018 between Hitamitsu and Gwis, it really told me that some people in this community care more about boosting their egos rather than try and sit down and talk with each other, or even apply honest criticism. A much more recent example of this would be the number of people the names junkies screwed over, like hidden and manga common. Yes, we can let our emotions / egos get the better of us, and we feel we're in the right in the moment, but will we feel we were in the right months or years down the line? I know I wasn't in the right when I did my second commentary on Joni, which is why I disowned it. Can we improve as a community? Only time will tell, I suppose. But I'm asking you guys to think on what I've said here. A lot of our internal dramas could potentially be fixed if we actually tried talking to each other more, and to understand that there is an actual person on the other side of the screen. Thank God I was able to get through all that. This is Night saying thanks for watching, and please share your thoughts with me.